Good evening, and thank you for joining Candid Conversations. My name is Ruby.
And my name is Muriel.
We're real sisters sharing real stories within our community. We have come to a close of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but it does not mean that raising awareness stops. Our guest tonight is Mia Allman. Tonight, she is going to share with us her journey with breast cancer, domestic violence, and bullying.
Welcome to the show, Mia. We might as well just call you Miss Caribbean. Anything that's going on in the community, Mia is there.
That's true.
We want to talk a little bit about you, get to know some more information about you. Can you tell us about your background, your mixed family heritage?
Well, I'm originally born in Jamaica. I'm a Kingstonian.
Okay.
And family heritage of Costa Rican, Arabic Indians,
Wow.
Scots, and Trinidad and Tobago.
You are a mixed breed.
Yes, they call it a spice pot.
Yes.
Spicy.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I love it, because, sometimes when people ask where you're from, I say, like, oh, be anybody you want me
That's
to be.
right. That's
I
right.
got a little bit of this mixed in my family, so, hey,
That's right.
or you get mad or whatever, you don't know which one's going to come
Right.
out. It's like, it's all love.
What
How
about
long
your
have you been in
childhood?
Florida?
I've been here about 35 years.
Okay, you're a
Oh my
Floridian.
goodness, yes,
Yeah.
she's a Floridian. I wanted to hear about your childhood. How was your upbringing?
My upbringing was really strict. I had a very old-fashioned, West Indian mother that,
Mhm.
I mean, did not play.
No?
I would
Yes.
say she had a PhD in black belt.
There you go.
And very strict, when it comes to education, and always taught us, the love for our culture and be proud of who you are.
Right.
And, later in years that, that has made me the person I am today. And, I don't take nothing from nobody.
No.
And just be proud, yourself and always, love yourself
Yeah.
from within. So that's my, my childhood.
Any brothers or
Experience.
sisters?
Yes, I have 2 sisters and 2 brothers. I'm the youngest of 5.
You're the baby.
Yes. And my sister, actually, we had, she passed away 19 years ago
Oh,
Sorry
sorry
to
to
hear
hear
that.
that.
from cancer.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So, but she's still watching over me.
That's
yeah,
right.
she is. Yes, she is.
You know that this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month,
Mhm.
and we're going to talk about breast cancer. It doesn't have to be October to talk
no.
about breast cancer awareness. We'll talk about this all the time, every day, every month.
365.
Yeah.
That's right. There you go.
It affects
There
somebody.
you go.
Mhm.
Tell us about your news with that you had breast cancer about 19 years ago, right?
Yeah, 19 years ago, I actually was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Okay.
I found this lump in my breast, and
Mhm.
for years I've always had fibrocystic,
Okay.
and it was always, just
Benign.
fluid in, the pockets there, and then went away. But this time I actually went to my doctor and said, I got this lump, and they did a mammogram and everything, and
Okay.
everything came back normal. She said, well, just probably stop using deodorant,
Yes.
and it'll probably go away. So a week
Hmm.
went by, and I was just like, something is just not right. It felt like, in my gut.
Right.
So my boss at a company I was working at, he said, if something is bothering you,
Get it
then
checked.
something is wrong.
Yes.
So he referred me to his surgeon, and I went to him, and he looked at my mammogram films, and he didn't really see anything, but he said, I want to have you have a biopsy.
Okay.
So when I had the biopsy done, and he actually felt the lump there, and they did a needle aspiration.
Yes.
Nothing came out, which was a red flag, because usually fibrocystic fluid comes out.
But nothing came out.
Nothing came out, so they did the other biopsy, and then that evening they called me back and said, I need you to go back because we want to test another area. So I went back, they tested, and then a few days later I went back in the office, and I heard the most 3 frightening words that nobody wants to hear, and that's, you have breast cancer. And my head was spinning like a tornado. It's just like I'm hearing this, that, and you know, trying to comprehend, and it's just like, what did you just say?
Yes.
It's like, you have breast cancer. And my next question was, how much time I got to live?
Right. Oh.
He's like, whoa, wait a
Yes,
minute
yes.
now, you know, slow your roll. We
Right.
haven't even got there yet,
Right.
you know, so.
You started to panic.
Yeah, panic, and then I said, I got young kids, I
Yeah.
can't die, and you know, and he's like, well, you know, we may have to remove your breast. I'm like, no, I like my tatas. You know, and he said, well, it's gonna be okay, you know, we gonna get through it.
Okay.
And actually, my coworker, he came with me,
Okay.
and he's from Spain. His wife actually had breast cancer,
As well. Okay.
but she didn't. She opted not to have her breast removed and just went through chemo, and then
Right.
10 years later came back, and she passed away.
Okay.
So
sorry to
when
hear
he
that
came to
one.
me, and he was just like, no, you gotta
Yes.
Remove it.
do it, because I wish I could have, you know, told my wife and instilled that to do that. So got through the surgery and everything, and when I woke up, my surgeon was standing over me, and I'm just like, am I in heaven?
Yes.
Am I still
Am
here?
I
He
still
said-
here?
He's like, yeah, you're still here. We got it all, you know, and I was just like, it was just a relief with that, but it was a rough road, you know, and they actually removed 20 out of, 20 out of 23 lymph nodes. They caught it before it actually hit my lungs.
Wow.
So if I didn't listen and just, you know,
Right.
figured it was, you know, using deodorant,
Exact.
probably more, I was stage 2B.
So tell me about the deodorant. What is the story with the deodorant?
It had nothing to do with it. It was already getting it, because it started in my breast.
Yes.
And once it hit the lymph node, it started spreading.
Okay.
And the lump there was one of the lymph node that the cancer was in.
They were thinking maybe you were allergic
Yeah,
to the...
because sometimes they say you deodorant,
That's
you might
true,
have a
yeah.
irritation that could cause your lymph nodes to swell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got it.
So with that, and I started, you know, the chemo radiation. Again, that was a rough road because, you know, made me sick,
Yes.
you know, and they say the toilet bowl was like my best friend because I hugged it so
Yeah.
much, and, you know, and
Is it like a pregnancy sick? You know how when you're pregnant, you have the
it's
morning
worse,
sickness?
it's worse than that.
Okay.
I even lost my taste buds, and actually my sister, because she was diagnosed with lymphoma cancer,
Okay.
and it was 6 months later I was diagnosed, and she lived in Pompano, and she used to, they had a patio, and she was like, oh, I smell the bird in the tree, and we'd look at her like, is she crazy?
Right.
And it's like, no, there's a bird in the tree, and we're just like, okay, if you say, all of a sudden we hear the bird chirping,
There's a bird in the tree.
you know, and then when I went through my chemo, it's like your senses
Okay.
is like magnetized like a million, because I could open the fridge, I can tell you that's bad,
Yes.
that's going bad, you know, and even taste buds, I lost all my taste
my
buds,
goodness.
that even chewing meat, it was
Okay.
just like chewing like they just killed the animal.
This is from the
Right.
chemo or from
Yeah.
the radiation?
From the chemo.
Chemo.
And then rice was like cotton in my mouth, and one day I had this craving for some escabeche fish and rice and peas. I went
That's
to a
right.
Caribbean restaurant, and I couldn't taste it. And I went and put some Scotch bonnet pepper.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally poured the whole bottle.
And you still
And you
couldn't
know
taste
how
it?
hot that is.
Right.
And I still could not taste
Oh,
it.
gosh.
So my mother ended up bought a juicer
Okay.
and juice, you know, like carrots and celery and beets, and that's what I mostly, you know, drank. And then we did Ensure and
Okay.
put protein powder, and
Okay.
that
So you can have
was
some
it.
type
Yeah,
of nutrient.
with that. And even though they gave me a little pill to put on your tongue for the nausea, it
Okay.
still didn't
It didn't work.
do anything. And then, yeah, after the radiation, I mean the chemo, I started with radiation just to kill that area.
Okay.
And that wasn't too bad. It does tire you out, because for me, that normally would take you maybe 10, 15 minutes to take a shower, it would take me an hour because I'd be so out of breath
Yes.
and stuff. And I mostly did after the chemo, my mother's old-fashioned again, with the aloe
Okay.
and put on the area, and all I got was a nice tan and tissues weren't damaged, and I was able to get, you know,
helped a
reconstructive
lot.
surgery and had nice and nice boobs.
That aloe,
So-
that's a good one.
Yeah, and you
I
know,
don't think a lot
aloe
of
is
people
good
know
for
that.
everything,
Yes, it is.
you know.
I remember we grew up with that.
Yeah.
Old school.
How long was the chemotherapy and the radiation?
It was about a year.
Mm.
Yeah.
So are you still taking pills or anything?
No, after that, you go on. I was on tamoxifen for
Yeah.
like 5 years, and then after that, they say after 5 years, then you're considered
In
a
remission.
cancer survivor.
Yeah.
You know, with that, and
Yeah.
it's been, you know, ongoing, and you know, surviving still 19 years later and stuff. But you know, I just continue to educate myself and try to eat the right foods
Yes.
and try to keep in positive, you know, spirit.
You have to.
And so-
You don't just educate yourself, though. You educate other women.
Oh yeah,
She educates
Yeah.
everyone.
yeah.
Everyone. You talk about it.
Yeah, and I have friends that call me that, you know, say they have someone's going through, you know, cancer or, you know, this condition and stuff. And, you know, no matter what condition that we go through,
Right.
the mentality is still the same. We go through depression.
Yes.
One day we're laughing, the next day we're crying,
Yes.
and the next day we're depressed, and the
Roller
whole 9
coaster.
yards. Yeah,
Emotional
yeah,
roller coaster.
yeah.
So tell me, how did your family feel about this when they found out?
It was kind of difficult on my mother because, you know, you got your oldest child and then you got your youngest child going through it. But, you know, she just, you know, pushed through, and, you know, that's motherly love, and just, you know,
Yes.
supported us. And she was actually there, you know, for me and helped me take care of my kids. And
Okay.
there's many days that, you know, part of that, you know, depression I was going through and, you know, mental illness that at one point I wanted to kill myself.
Yes.
Aw.
And I said, if it wasn't for my children,
You
I
wouldn't
probably, if
be
I had a
here.
gun, I probably would have shot myself. I said, I can't do this.
Yes.
You're going
It's
through
just
so
constantly
much.
sick all the
It was
time.
over. Yes.
So my kids would come in the bathroom and, you know, play their toys and read their book.
Yes, they
And,
wanted to
Mommy,
be
we
near their
love
mommy.
you. You're okay. And
Mhm.
give me hugs and kisses. And it's like, you know what? I got to keep pushing through.
You have to
That's
keep
right,
pushing
you know.
through.
And here you are,
Yeah.
19 years later.
Yeah.
You're a survivor.
Tell us
you.
about the 4 S's that helped you when you had breast cancer. You talk about 4 S's.
Self-esteem. Oh, God, it's like my mind.
Yeah, I know. Was it self-love?
Self-love. Self-love was the
Self-awareness.
biggest one. And the reason why I say that is because after having your breast removed, and I was dealing with, you know, one arm bigger than the other because of the lymphedema,
Okay.
and you lose your hair, and I didn't like who I saw in the mirror.
Yes.
And it was my surgeon's nurse who told me, she said, you have to get past that.
Yeah.
And I said, I feel less of a woman.
Yes.
And she's like, no matter what you go through or what parts of your body you
Still a
lose,
woman.
you're still a woman.
Yes.
And she said, I need for you to go home, and when you feel right, stand in front of that mirror
Yes.
and strip naked and don't move until you like the person you saw in that mirror.
Yep. Still you.
And eventually, it took me about close to 6 months to really do that because I do a little at a time until eventually that. And then I had all this another demon I was
Yes.
dealing with because my arm, I was like hearing, you know, like somebody talking. It's like, why is her arm big? Why is it? And I used to cover up
Yes.
till I got over that fear.
Okay.
And I just started wearing sleeveless. I said, you know what? I don't even care.
Yeah.
To where a point where nobody asks me anymore about it. So self-love was really the biggest thing. It was a renewal.
Yes.
Because someone asked me what was my greatest loss. And I said that was my greatest loss of losing myself,
Yes.
but it was my greatest gift of
Yeah.
finding
Finding
who I
yourself.
was on the inside.
That's right. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
Yeah, so that's things we teach women, part of what I do is, you got to love yourself first.
You have to.
Yeah, that's
You
number
know.
one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the lymphedema.
Because they
happens?
removed a lot of the lymphedema, I have a condition which is called lymphedema with cellulitis, and the cellulitis is the infection.
Okay.
So after the chemo radiation side effects, I end up with fibromyalgia, RA, autoimmune disorder, And
RA is rheumatoid arthritis.
yeah, arthritis. And with the lymphedema, if my immune system goes down because of the autoimmune disorder, it can trigger my arm to be infected, which is like little red spots it starts off at.
Okay.
And then those red spots start to connect. It looks like a third-degree burn.
You already know what it
Oh.
So
looks
you
like.
can actually just hold your hand like
Yes.
this and feel the heat coming
Really?
off. And usually then I have to go to the hospital when I start seeing those dots because my body can get toxic and,
Okay.
and
So
stuff,
they
and the
give you
infection can
antibiotics?
start spreading.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have to put me on IV,
IV antibiotics. 'Cause it's quick.
antibiotics and stuff. So,
Okay.
and I've gotten like cortisone shot in my foot, my arm breaks out.
Oh.
I've gotten the flu, my arm breaks out. I've gotten do my mammogram, my arm breaks out. So anything foreign that's going in my body,
Okay.
I have to make sure I take antibiotics
Okay.
a few days before and a few days after.
I
Any
see.
tests that I have to have that they're poking and
You have
and
learned
stuff.
yourself.
So yeah, it's like
Right.
being that movie, That Boy in the Plastic Bubble. Yeah.
You have learned yourself, though.
Yeah. And, I just learned to protect myself and prep myself if I know I'm going to the event and stuff. I
course.
kind of, build up, eating certain things and
protect
stuff
your
like
immune.
protect the immune system, yeah.
So living with rheumatoid arthritis, though, that has to be pretty tough. I hear it's pretty painful. Can you
Yeah.
tell us about that?
Summertime's is good for me.
Okay.
Okay.
The wintertime and when it rains is
Yes,
like,
you feel it.
our body's like a weather
joints.
thermometer is like, yeah, it's going to rain today. So, yeah, it's painful. And I have it all over. And sometimes it may be in one spot, like the legs. It could be the arms. And there's some days where my joints get swollen and it hurts to where I can't squeeze or
Right.
do anything or open
you take
bottles
medicine?
and stuff. Yeah.
take meds for it?
Actually, the RA is not as bad, but what I have is chronic fibromyalgia,
Okay.
which is, I'm on the highest dose
painful.
of medication that
Okay.
I'm taking now,
Okay.
so those are the nerves,
Okay.
and that's all over, so, yeah.
You're a fighter, though,
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
because no matter what, you still have a smile on your face.
Always.
I have to.
You always have
You
a smile
know,
on your face. You
have
just keep
to.
it move. You keep moving and moving. You don't quit.
Yeah, I can't let those things,
No.
determine, how I'm going to live my life, and I
Right.
just pray to God every day, just like, if today I'm supposed to just relax, then that's what I'm going
That's
to
what
do.
you're gonna do.
Because before I used to rip and run and go in every weekend doing this. I'd go, be in the hospital and come out, got a PICC line in my arm
Right.
and go in events and taking
Right.
pictures.
Oh,
And
my goodness.
to a point, it's like, whoa,
Yes.
I need
Slow
to
down.
stop this.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That can also cause you to be sick.
Yeah.
Too much stress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're running all over the place.
Yeah.
You are a superwoman.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she is.
A friend of mine used to tease me and tell me I was like Pinky in the Brain.
Yes.
Like, you're always trying to take over the world. And I'm just like, hey,
need
one
a-
person at a time.
Yeah.
That's right. There you go.
You need an S on your chest.
Yes.
You are also a domestic violence advocate like myself.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, there was somebody I was dating many years ago, that put their hands on me, and was very possessive, used to stalk me and stuff. And, I got to a point where, this is not healthy.
No.
Right.
And, where they broke my nose.
Oh.
And I was like, I got young kids.
Right.
And I got to explain to my kids, like, this was an accident or, make up a story.
Right.
Can't tell them. I said, no, I can't because, once that leads to that, then something else leads to that. And, and then I had to go to my mom and was like, what's going on?
What did she say?
How am I going to explain that to her?
Right.
So I just eventually had to wean myself slowly out of that relationship and stuff because
Your kids.
some women are strong.
Yes.
And some aren't.
Right.
And it's no fault of their own. But, I had the strength to just, but,
have to move
today,
past it.
we've made amends. He's apologized.
Very
and,
good.
We're
You move
cool.
past it.
Okay.
Yeah, but you'll
You
never
know.
forget.
Yeah, you never forget
No, no.
those
Never forget.
things. And any relationship you get in, those are like triggers
Right.
that you remember.
Beware.
Or do some little background check.
Yes.
How do you treat your mom? Stuff like that. Because, maybe get in a relationship 6 months down the line and you don't even
No.
know. And, and if this is something that, they've experienced in their family or they've seen their parents,
Right.
they mistake it for love.
Yes.
And
That's
it's not love. So
No,
if he
it's
don't
not.
beat on me, that means he don't love me. Like,
Right.
no, that's
No.
not true.
Yeah, a lot of people
You know?
feel that. What would you tell somebody who is going through domestic abuse right now?
Again, we have to deal with the demons that's within us.
Right.
And, you know, some of us don't have that self-esteem.
Right.
And we just gotta, you know, find that love within us and get help,
That's
talk
right.
to somebody.
Yes.
Because if it doesn't, there's so many shelters. I mean, there's outlets that, you know, you can go to. If you have a close friend, you know, talk to them,
Yes.
you know, and just get help,
Absolutely.
you know. Our lives are too precious,
They are.
you know.
They really are.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't speak out.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we encourage that. Please speak out. You can contact the domestic violence hotline, contact a friend, contact a family member. Please get assistance and help with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important.
What about Caribbean Under One magazine?
Well, that goes back 2007.
Okay.
And I was actually doing some stuff with the Orlando Carnival.
Okay.
And there was a young boy, I'm not going to say what island, but I said to him, you know, he had all his colors on, and I was just, you know, I said, what does that colors mean? And he told me. And I was like, no. What do those three colors stand for? And he was looking at, lady, I just told you.
Yes.
I was like,
No.
no. I said, go ask your parents. And if your parents don't know,
Look it
go
up.
ask your grandparents.
Okay.
And I started walking around the field and asking different people and realizing that they wear these colors of their flag, but they don't know the true meaning of what those colors mean.
Stand for.
And what the struggles, you know, our family and ancestors went through.
Right.
You ask them, what is your national dish? What is the national, you know, the coat of arms? They're like, what are you talking about? You know, so that's why I started, you know, Caribbean Under One magazine, which is KO magazine now. And I started every month, I used to feature a different island.
Right.
And I would share the national symbols, the food, everything. So
that's
that, you know,
nice.
if you go on vacation to that island, I
Right.
don't want you to just go there
Right.
and just go to the beach and little tourists, but I want you to go see what the landmarks are.
That's right. Eat the
Yeah,
food.
eat the food, taste it. You know, you ain't gonna be able to come back. It's like, I had a friend of mine went to Jamaica, and the stuff I said, did you get some of the street food and stuff? And they said, no, we just went to the beach and.
Right.
You have to
I
eat
said,
the
how
food.
can you
have
not
to.
have to
go
taste
and
it.
get no jerk
Authentic.
chicken or, you
The
know, go to
authentic
Dunn's
food.
River or any other places?
Right.
You know, so I kind of took them to that journey, and even as a friend of mine, I did a feature in Guyana, and she's like, I felt so embarrassed because she said, I've lived there practically all my life, and I didn't know all these waterfalls were there.
She should be
You know,
embarrassed.
so now she's like
Yes.
educating
Yes.
herself. So
Good.
that was a part of that, and I started, you know, just showcasing the culture here in Central Florida. You know,
Just
and
good. You
stuff
do a
that
great
if
job.
you miss it, go there. You know,
Right.
experience
Right.
it, and you don't have to be from that Caribbean
Right.
island.
To experience
You know,
and enjoy it.
'cause how can you walk in somebody else's shoes
There
if
you
you
go.
haven't experienced
There
it?
you go.
And
That's
you never
right.
know if you don't like it or not.
Try it out.
Yeah.
What about Women of Culture 365 and Men of Culture 365?
Women of Culture started off a few years back, and you know, when I left KO magazine, I came back, and I wanted, you know, talking to different women, and you know, seeing that when they're in a certain environment, they won't speak with their accent, and I was like, why not? And they say, well, you know, you have to adapt to the environment. I said, no, you don't.
Be
I
you.
said, we can be professional women,
Yes.
and you could still speak with your accent.
Right.
You know, and when you get in my family, then you know you can bring out the patois and all that stuff there. So, and then I also found that the self-love was missing.
Okay.
They weren't proud of who they were,
Or their
key
culture.
factor.
what they looked like, and you know, I see them, you know, take pictures and retake and retake,
Yes.
and it's just like, what's going on here? I don't like that. That's like you're looking at all
The same
these
picture.
flaws. I said, all these flaws make you
Who you
know,
are.
Who you are. You're
Yes.
beautiful inward. I said the beauty comes from within.
That's right.
Not what you see on the outside.
Yes.
You see a beautiful woman, and if her inside ain't clean,
She's ugly.
yeah, yeah. You know, so part of that is just teaching, you know, women. And then last year we launched the end of the year, December, Men of Culture, because the men were getting jealous.
Of
like,
course.
"Hey, women, y'all getting all the props. So yeah, just teaching to love your culture, love who
Okay.
you are, and you know we honor. You know, a couple years back we honored women from different cultures,
Right.
and just say thank you for what you do in your community. back home and how you inspire other women.
Right.
And this year, we're in April, we're going to be doing men and women,
Okay.
kings and queens
That's good.
of culture.
That's right. It's awesome.
And just uplifting,
Yes.
and just, women,
That's right.
we can do things together, support one another, and, stop the hate and the jealousy.
Exactly.
Yes,
with that.
please.
Yeah.
Let's work together.
What does Mia do to relax?
Look at her.
Can't answer it.
Well, my relaxing moment is, have to say, with my granddaughter.
She's so cute.
Yeah, because she just inspires me so much. There's days when I don't feel well, and I'm like, it's like, Grandma, I don't feel well. She's like, that's okay.
Yeah.
And she'll come and she'll kiss me right on my forehead.
And rub you.
She's like, oh. And she'll take out, the tablet, and
Right,
we'll
right,
start playing, like shark, 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 all these little songs and stuff, and just takes my mind off of
Everything.
everything with that. And then there's some days I just, relax, watch TV,
Yes.
or do a lot of writing
Okay.
on my feelings and stuff like that, because I want to get it out and I want to share to the world
Yes.
that, what you see here is a hidden mask
There you
that
go.
you probably looking at, but
Yes.
you really
don't
don't
know.
know who Mia is.
That's
Not
right.
the woman you see with the camera
Yes.
out there, but there's another side of me
Yeah.
with that. So writing and letting it out and talking and
Right.
stuff like that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Healing.
Yes.
Very
We're
good.
just showing you just a little bit, just a little bit of Mia. There's so much more. This show is not long enough for us to really show you what a wonderful person that she is.
Thank you.
Can you tell them how to get in contact with you?
You guys can reach me. I'm on social media, Facebook at KUO Magazine, one word, and also Ribbons of Survivors, and Caribbean Professional Alliance, Men of Culture 365, and culture is spelled with a K, and also Women of Culture 365, and culture with a K. That's my trademark. 365 is that we celebrate everything 365.
Yes.
And also online, you can go to kuomagazine.com, and everything's there. We have all our ambassadors, the events that we did, upcoming events and
Very
all
good.
that.
Great. Thank you, Mia,
And
for
also
joining
Instagram
us.
at the same thing at Instagram, Women of Culture 365 and Men of Culture 365.
Very good.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening and sharing just a little bit of you.
Thank you for
Thank you.
having me. I've
Thank
been
you
all
for-
excited, like a kid at Disney, I'm here.
Thank you for everything that you do
Thank
in the
you.
community and things that you are continuing, and we know that there's so much more.
Of course.
And thank you, ladies, for, all what you do, and
Thank
just
you, Mia.
inspiring, men and women, as well as bringing awareness
Yes.
to so many, topics and conditions, and
Thank
I
you.
think the more our voices speak,
Right.
more we can heal a lot of people.
Thank you for that. Yes.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you for tuning in this evening. Please join us next Tuesday for another informative show. In closing, we all have the same amount of time, 365 days a year. We all should take the time out to help and give back to the community. For those of you who have not gone to get a mammogram, make sure you get that done. Early detection is the key. Thank you for tuning into Candid Conversation.